Hello everybody. Happy Sunday. I think it's July the 14th. Those things aren't really that important to me. My name is Jason Wampler. I'm your host. This is another episode of An Axe to Grind. I know I've gone from Dime Store Psychology. Somebody stole that name. Then I chose the name Better in Black and White. But you know what? Somebody else has that name already. I can tell they had the name before I did. So we're not going to do that show either. This show is my blog. It's my personal blog, An Axe to Grind. It's kind of a variety act. I can talk about rockets. I can talk about car maintenance, electrical, mechanical, or civil engineering, handyman work. I can, whatever you guys want. But the name of the show is An Axe to Grind. That's an old saying. You got something on your mind and you got to talk about it. And it's not necessarily a positive subject. If you're kind of pissed off about some things and some galactic ironies that you're at the receiving end of the negative effects of. So that's kind of what the show's about. Now I can't choose a black and white filter off my any regular camera for uploading videos to YouTube. So if you guys want to hit the like and subscribe button, which I really appreciate if you would, hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment. If anybody can direct me to a free app, a free camera app for Androids that will help me shoot a video in black and white, I'd really appreciate that information. I've been looking around for something like that, and frankly, I can't find anything. I don't know why. YouTube Shorts, they give you the option to choose a black and white filter, and I always choose Moody. There's four different choices for black and white, and I guess I'm like, well, I don't want to compare myself to the greatness of Humphrey Bogart. I guess I'm like one of those actors. I just look better in black and white than I do in color. I don't like kind of like the way I look in color. I'm not visually the most exciting human being in the most exciting looking human being in the world. I don't know if that's a double entendre, but anyway, this is An Axe to Grind. The first part of the show is always going to be me sending a negative shout out to a couple of people that I don't like. Negative shout out to the first person, a girl named Nancy, who runs who is a general manager for the Walmart on Firestone Boulevard, I believe, in Compton. Nancy, I do want to apologize about having made the quip about that girl Joss, whom I filed a complaint about. I think for me to it might be important for me to go ahead and call you again and apologize about how I have roommates who who do drugs and they wouldn't accept that type of behavior and they beat the nonsense out of her if you treat them like that. I didn't want that to come across the wrong way. Nancy, what I meant to say was if Joss mouths off to the wrong people, if she acts that way towards the wrong people and she didn't realize how dangerous they are, she can get herself hurt. I was issuing a cautionary. It's kind of like a warning. I wasn't. It wasn't meant as a threat. It wasn't meant to me doing that. Because I know you kind of. Let me stop you right there. You kind of abruptly ended the comment. And said we're not going to compensate you, Nancy. That's fine. I understand if you're limited. But a shout out to you, Nancy, and to every other female manager of every Walmart, because I have filed multiple complaints against Walmart for their very, very, very poor customer service. The men and women alike there, especially mostly the young kids. The older folk that work at Walmart are very conscientious. They have enough life experience to understand, that it's important to take care of people and show them respect. They have enough life experience to realize that diplomacy and protocol will get you a lot farther in life. It'll help you get better employee reviews. You'll get raises. You'll ensure job security, and in the long run, it'll benefit you, and you'll make more money. These young folk, they think, well, I got a job and I'm secure at Walmart. I can't do anything to get fired. Well, up to a certain point, I suppose you can't. But to people like that little girl Joss who mouthed off to me, I mean, this isn't Joss. This isn't the war of the sexes. Nancy, you don't have to hole up and revert to an army general for the army of women because this isn't a war of the sexes. Nancy, I was calling and complaining about her behavior not because she's a woman, but because of the way she treated me. Now, if a guy had treated me like that, I'd still be filing the same complaint. So this isn't something that needs to instill down to or revert to the war of the sexes. I'm not a misogynist. I actually champion women's rights. I'd fight in behalf of women. I want to see women stand up for themselves and fight in behalf of themselves. Irregardless of how they treat me, I will always support women's rights. And that's how I've always been. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. Of course, I get along better with men. I am resentful of the fact that women do seem to treat men based on their appearance, and I understand that in this culture, what you do in life does in fact affect your physical appearance, and people have a tendency or habit of carrying themselves and dressing and grooming the tattoos and jewelry based on their life experience and what kind of person they are. I'm not that way, so it might be throwing women off. My appearance is not the best. I understand that. I'm not the best looking person in the world. And I understand that too. But in Axe to Grind, Nancy, this isn't a war of the sexes. Okay, you don't need to hole up and start protecting Joss. You're doing just as much damage as Joss was. So Nancy, a shout out to you. I don't think you got the point. I think I'm going to continue to have problems. I guess I will keep shopping at Walmart. I went there the other day. I actually had some positive experiences, but I just want to avoid certain type of people at Walmart because the young folk at Walmart take their jobs for granted. They think they're going to keep them forever, and that there's nothing they can do will get them fired because it's Walmart, and they need warm bodies to wear their little blue vests, and that's not entirely true. Nancy got on her hind legs. She did let's the women got to stick together. He did the woke toxic feminism thing, wants to protect Joss. I understand, but Nancy, that's not why I'm complaining. Okay, I'm complaining you did that and you didn't realize I was a customer and I was mistreated. So when I get the time, I'm going to call Walmart again. I'm going to tell them my experience with you, and Nancy, I'm going to complain about you as well because I don't think you got the point. Anyway, I'm not going to be seeking any type of financial or monetary compensation from Walmart because I don't really think you guys have anything in place for that sort of thing, and I understand. Um, I was the last time I went into Walmart, I was treated better. Not fantastic, but I was treated better. And that the older gals that work as cashiers, they're always very friendly. I mean, you either last in that position as a cashier at Walmart or you don't. And if you do, you have the type of personality that's fairly resilient. Now, male cashiers at Walmart are a little bit more difficult to deal with because men kind of respond and react to that sort of thing. If they toughen up, they go quiet and silent and antisocial. But if women work as cashiers at Walmart, women react to that type of harsh environment differently, whereas they blossom into these very mentally and emotionally very resilient ambassadorial gals that are very pleasant to deal with, universal, user friendly, and what and so forth. So maybe I'm focusing on the negative, but the lady cashiers, the older lady cashiers at Walmart, now that I think about it and I look back on it, I've had nothing but good experiences with you. Gals are absolutely wonderful. Um, I love you all. Anybody and anybody who gives priority to diplomatic behavior, I'm not asking anybody out on a date, so you don't have to worry about me hitting on you if I'm being friendly with you. That for the gals at Walmart who work the cashier, gals at Walmart who know and understand it's important to behave in diplomatic fashion, take care of the customer, not engage in the war of sexes when dealing with men. I respect you tremendously. I've got to learn to pick and choose. I've got to learn how to roll with the punches. And I've got to learn not to just cast a blanket aspersion over all women. That does make me a misogynist. That makes me a sexist. That comes across. And, maybe there is something about me that I show in my demeanor, behavior, where, women treating me like that ruffles me, ruffles my feathers. And I show that. And then, of course, it causes the ladies to get up on their hind legs, and then all of a sudden we're having a battle of sexes and not me fighting, for a little bit of respect and diplomacy because I'm a customer, paying customer coming there to spend money, and you guys are chasing me out of the store. So one thing leads to another. I might be contributing to it. I've got to start really thinking about my behavior and my thinking as well. But in the meantime, as a working professional, you work for Walmart, people are there to spend money. I know you got a lot of people there. You think you got job security, but folks, the economy is not necessarily that great right now, and regardless of the fact there are a lot of help wanted ads, it's every bit as difficult to get a job now as it was back in 2008, 2010, at the height of the last major recession. I don't give a good goddamn what you want to call it. downturn in the economy. You want to pussify these terms to keep people from pissing their pants when the economy goes south. You go right ahead. You want to prevent mass public hysteria, and that's a technique that you use that's effective. More power to you. I just don't like it when people water down the truth. I'll give you a firm handshake. I'll stare you straight in the eye, and I'll tell you how it is, within reason, of course. I'm diplomatic myself. Anyway, so Nancy, um, I know you're thinking you're being professional, but when you hole up, you protect one of your own. This isn't the battle of the sexes. This is me telling you, I just don't appreciate that type of behavior. You were gruff and rude with me as well. I'm going to call corporate. I'm going to tell them about my negative experience with you as well. I'm going to complain against you. I will keep shopping at Walmart. I can't not do that. It's not that you guys have what I need. I just like you so much that something like this is just not a severe enough occasion to cause me not to want to shop. So we'll keep shopping at Walmart. Okay, so I've got another negative shout out for a guy named Alex. I don't know what the guy's last name is. I don't really care. He's at Elspec Motorsports, um, in I think in either Downey, or some city in Los Angeles. Elspec Motorsports. Alex, be really careful with this guy, because if he hires you and one of his online gamer buddies shows up and needs a job after he's hired you, he's going to keep you for one day, make up a bullshit excuse, and then let you go. Alex, negative shout out to you. I think you're a coward. I think you're a liar. I think you're an asshole. I did perfect work that day. You made some bullshit excuse up as to why I can't work for you anymore. It's not going to kind of work out. You badmouthed me on Indeed. Alex, I didn't do anything wrong. I think we overfilled that one vehicle by half a quart. I already told you I had 39 years experience working on cars. Talked to you about engine design theory. I thought I razzled and dazzled. You hired me for one day. You gave me $200 cash. I appreciated that, but in the end, you let me go. Alex, I noticed something about you and other shop owners. Um, and by the way, you're not going to learn how to drive a race car even with a $12,000 video game machine. Video game driving, driving games and driving an actual car are two different things. You have to be an athlete to drive a real car. All you have to do is be a fat ass slob, addicted to power shakes and diapers to play video games, dude. So I don't really think you're a real driver. Your car is a piece of shit, and I don't think you're that good of a mechanic either. I think you're kind of full of yourself. I don't think you're that famous because I never heard of you, and I think you're an asshole and a fucking liar and a coward. So if you want to square off sometime and tell me what you think face to face like a real man, you name the time, name the day, name the place. Um, but after letting me go after one day because your gamer buddy could put on a pair of surgical gloves and might be able to change the oil and filter. I've got 39 years experience working on cars. I did just fine that day, Alex. I didn't do anything to merit you letting me go. You just hired me too soon. You had the other Yutzpah, the friendly kid, but he looked like an idiot, looked like a slob, acted like an idiot. And then you got your gamer buddy going in there waiting in the wings. Oops, he's my gamer buddy. I better give him the job that I just gave to this new guy named Jason Wampler. And again, you let me go. Alex, you're a fucking asshole. Fuck you. You're a coward and a liar. Fuck you, and I hope your racing dreams and your business all go to shit because I don't like people like you. Okay, I got one more shout out to another guy named Jason. He worked for Big O Tires. I don't do business with Big O Tires um, at all, except actually, if I had to do business with Big O Tires, it'd be the place. I'm sorry, I should retract that. I do business with the Big O Tires on Bristol and MacArthur in Santa Ana, near the border of Santa Ana and Costa Mesa, South Coast Central. This is a third negative shout out. Jason is the regional manager of the Big O Tires. He had an office in Huntington Beach. Jason, you're a fucking asshole. I mean, you told me to her face, red flag, red flag. 39 years experience as a mechanic, and you didn't even give me a chance. You badmouthed me to my face in front of my mother. My mother was shocked the way you talked to me. I don't really give a shit if you don't think we're. I was told back then you made two and a quarter a year, $225,000 a year. If you got a college education, I guess some dumbass like you is worth it. Now, Jason, you're a fucking asshole. Fuck you. You want to tell me to my face what you told me last time then. You want to go someplace without recording devices. You want to duke it out. you go right ahead. You name the time, you name the place. My contact information is through this channel. Fuck you. Another negative shout out to one more person, some dumb asshole with a lousy, some chin meat taco asshole with glasses, kind of like me, but with a flat top blonde hair at the Santa Ana McFadden, or Santa Ana McFaddendale hardware store. The guy asked me not to come into his store after his misunderstanding when I was doing some returns. Fuck you. You're a fucking asshole. I go to McFaddendale because I love the place. I go to the McFaddendale in Anaheim. Anaheim, McFaddendale, they're kind of all right. They're kind of full of themselves. Again, I had an experience with a guy. This, by the way, today's episode is kind of run kind of long because I got a lot of shit to talk about. We might even not get to the women's behavior part. But there's a guy in Santa Ana who used to do work for me. He's a pinch hitter. He had a couple of mechanics. And this guy would always save my butt when I had a job that was too complicated. And I liked him. I don't have an axe to grind with this guy. I forgot his name, but he was Eastern European. He had a little bit of like Hispanic Moorish in his blood. He's mostly Eastern European. He's either Yugoslavian or Ukrainian. Um, and he was a sexist. He ran a shitty shop, but he had a couple of good mechanics for him. One of the mechanics unfortunately ended up ripping the guy off for like $40,000 worth of equipment, and he'd been working for him for 5 years. I don't know if they had an unhealthy relationship or what the hell was the nature of the relationship, but what his lead mechanic just ended up stealing a bunch of equipment from him after working for him for 5 years. Excuse me, down the wrong end, and ended up taking off on him. But hey, bro, if you remember me, my name is Jason Woff. The name of the business was Mars, Mobile Automotive Repair Services. I came to you when I had difficult jobs. I committed to the customer for a certain price. You did it for me for less. So I didn't even do any work and I made money on it. So I'd overprice it. You tell me $300 for a rear crankshaft seal on a Corvette. I pay you $350 and give you a $50 tip. Customer paid me $700. I made $350 just to drive the thing down from Norco and get you to do the work. And I had my assistant John Julian help me out. So, dude, a positive shout out to you wherever you are, bro. Just know I'm your brother, and I'm happy. I'm hoping you're doing well. But one thing I've got to advise you about: you had one mechanic in there that brought you a bunch of high-end cars. He brought you all the rich customers with fancy Mercedes you could ever dream of. And I remember one day seeing your shop full of all these fancy Mercedes. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Some type of advertising campaign is suddenly successful I don't know about. And you told me about this one employee you had. The guy was just a super genius he's one of the best mechanics. The guy was one of the best Mercedes-Benz mechanics in Orange County, and he was actually working for you. You had him, and you let him go. You fired him because, according to you, he was late too many times. He had a lot of kids, so he kept showing up late, half an hour. Well, I mean, understand as a shop owner, you want to keep law and order, and you want to maintain some respect. But with a guy like that, bring you high end repairs. I mean, you could have lifted yourself up out of that morass. Now you left that shop. I don't know if you went somewhere else or you're working for somebody else. I hope you're doing better than you are. But I got to tell you, brother, you know who you are. You know who I am. And I'm telling you right now, that was a very, very bad decision to let that guy go. Because I'm thinking if I would have had my head set on straight, I would have hired him and I would have prospered. Because you get people like that working for you. They voluntarily want to work for you. All they want to do is just come to work and make a paycheck, and they bring you all those high-end, expensive customers with all those expensive cars, and they're willing to drop all kinds of money because all those Mercedes Benz, and we're talking 4 and 5 digit repair bills, man. Excuse me. I mean, if you want to do that, I'm telling you right now, brother, you made a mistake. You let the wrong guy go. I would say just tell him come in at 10:30, because he had kids to take care of. Okay, tell him to come in at 11 o'clock. Tell him to stay till 7. Tell him to come in 7 days a week. Tell him to come here and work for you as much as he can. Jesus Christ, man! Thanks for sharing your music with everybody. Um, it doesn't matter, bro. But what matters is the fact that he brought an entirely new level of demographic into your shop. And your shop wasn't the best shop. It didn't have the best reputation. I mean, you guys did good work, but you're doing piecemeal and doing business with all these poor people with these crappy cars. And two, 3 digit repair bills. Yeah, $300 for a, for a valve job or a brake job. But Mercedes Benz, 4 and 5 digit figures. You got people who drop a couple $1,000s every single repair because they're Mercedes. And some of your customers he was bringing in, these customers would follow this mechanic around wherever he went. They were all fast Mercedes, and he was very, very good at what he did. So I kind of think you made a mistake by letting him go. I really did. And I'm kind of thinking if I had my head set on straight, I would have swooped him up. But he's probably prospering somewhere else. Oh well. Um, a shout out to some other people. Raul Lopez, hey brother, if you ever see this, I love you, brother, but I need to talk to you about a couple things. Your behavior is kind of bothering me. Um, Frank Noah, how you doing, buddy? I need to talk to you about a couple things as well. Your behavior is bothering me. You guys are my friends, but I'm not hanging out with you for a reason. So let's see. Shout out to who else? A shout out to my uncle David Wampler and his lovely wife Susan. David, I love you with all my heart. You're a beautiful, wonderful man. Susan, keep David honest and keep him from going astray. Susan, you're a wonderful person too. Shout out to my uncle Doug Wampler. Doug, I love you. I've always loved you. I got some interesting memories to share with you, but the show would go on for hours if I did. Shout out to my uncle George Wampler in Hawaii. George and Terry, I love you. My cousins, Kyoki and um, yeah, Kyoki, Kyoki and Jesse, they're brothers. They're my cousins. Keel and uh, Keel and Ian Wilcox, my cousins. My other cousins, um, Christian and his two sisters, Chloe. Chloe is actually my youngest cousin. Chloe, I haven't met you yet. You got married. You got bought the trailer with your husband. I got the invitation to your wedding. I kind of talked about this a long time ago, but I wasn't able to make it. Shout out to Chloe. Used to be Chloe Wagon. Chloe, what's your older sister's name? I can't believe I forgot it. Um, Shout out to my father, Clinton Samuel Armstrong. Dad, wherever you are, I just want you to know that, I'm the only person in the world who can call you dad. I want you to reach out to me. So reach out to me through my email, jasonwamplercalifornia at gmail.com. Also, Jason Wampler, Los Angeles at yahoo.com. Because I really want to hear from you. Shout out to my aunt, which is my dad's sister, Donna Zarkazine. Donna, I love you with all my heart. Hugs and kisses. Um, Also, as well, a shout out to um, a shout out to Ray and Nancy Richards, Lou Rowe. I don't know if you're still married to Jennifer Lou, but if you are, more power to you. Um, let's see what else. A shout out to Mike Rorgan and his wife Susan. Shout out to Jason Shane. A shout out to Shane Tate and his wife, uh, Shoemi. I'm not sure what first name. Shout out to Ron Gonzalez and his wife, Matsuya. Um, Shout out to Sean Rogers and your wife, Julie Rogers, and your son Noah too. Noah's a ham. He's funny. But I know Noah's doing good. Shout out to Art Cruz and his wife Barbara and their son Cameron. I think that's his name, Cameron. Yeah. So anyway, so that's that. Shout out to Eric Mickelson if you ever see this. Eric, I hope you're doing okay. I know you're still in Georgia with your mother. I know it's a nasty divorce you're getting with your wife. I got some things to talk to you about that. Shout out to Isaac Church in Northern California, Joel Church, Diane Church, his rest of his family. One other person too, David Mendoza, and your friend and our mutual friend Johnny Ruiz. David, if you ever see any of my blogs and you're able to make comment, hit a like, please leave your information so I can contact you. David, I'm really, really, really anxious to get a hold of you and talk to you again. You called me that one time and I wasn't in a position where I could call you back and talk to you. Shout out to my friend Adolfo Bugarin. My understanding is, Adolfo, you have like between 4 and 5 kids. Stop. You don't need any more. Shout out to my friend Carrie Bushfield. Carrie Thomas Bushfield. I know you're married. I know you have a daughter. I've heard through the grapevine. Um, and that's pretty much that. Shout out to my friend uh, Sean Adams and your wife. You know who you are. Rodney, your brother Rodney. Shout out to Rodney Adams. Shout out to Donnell and Robin Dixon. And how many children you have? Last time I checked, you have two children. So, um, shout out to my friend Steve Hagen and his brother Greg Hagen, and of course his wife Bethany and their mother Kay. I heard that Walter had passed. I missed the invitation to the memorial. I'm really sorry. I would have liked to have been there. Shout out to Mike Lewis and my cousin Vicky Lewis. Shout out to Alexander Jackson, my favorite first cousin once removed. Shout out to my cousin Tim Jackson, Jerry Jackson. You're all right too. Shout out to you. Shout out to Andrew as well. Andrew, I don't think your wife likes me very much. I don't really care, but I understand you have four daughters. You know, so congratulations on that. I suppose Andrew, you're an interesting kid. So, but I don't think you'll be seeing me again. I'm in Los Angeles and you're still in Orange County. Anyway, that's all right. A shout out to Jorge Saldana Herrera. Jorge, I do have a couple things I need to talk to you about, but shout out to who else? Juan Rico. Juan, if you ever see this video, hey man, everything's cool. Okay. Shout out to my friend Ulysses Andradas. Ulysses, if you get this, you want to leave a message, you want to contact me through my information. I need to get a hold of. We need to find Sean. I don't know where the hell he is. I need to get a hold of that guy. So I mean, this has kind of gone on for too long. All right, so that's that. We're at the 26-minute mark, and I'm not going to edit these things down because I really don't. I just want to make a quick comment. What's interesting in this culture? There's always a back and forth. There's a cause and effect. Um, and this is kind of vectoring off the subject. Um, but in the next, I tell you what, in the next episode of I have an axe to next episode of an axe to grind, I want to talk about women's behavior and men's behavior and what I think is feeding the war of the sexes right now. I'm not going to talk about that now because we'll be going too long. I don't think anybody wants to watch a fat, ugly old man like me talk for that long. We're already at 27 minutes. But the predominant themes for discussion for this show are always going to be several things. Either car repair technology, engineering theory, building rockets, or human psychology, and mostly it's going to be about human psychology. Um, I will say this: I am kind of growing tired of women's behavior and how they treat me. If I cut my hair short, they think I look like a sexual predator or a pedophile. So it's kind of my fault because I should lose weight. I should find somebody who knows how to cut my hair properly. So it is my responsibility. But I just will say this: women will treat you based on your appearance. If your appearance is too strange, if your behavior is too strange, they think subconsciously that it's kind of a reflection of who you really are, and it's not. In my case, it's different. For whatever reason, I tend to insist on masking the type of person I really am. So the person I really am is not the person I appear to be. But women revert to that in an effort to judge and determine what type of person you are. It's kind of this passive aggressive subconscious reaction, but it takes place very, very quickly in in the manner, in the sense that it's a defensive reaction. I make a lot of women around me uncomfortable. I don't know why. I don't really care. But ladies, if you want to feel that uncomfortable, if you allow yourself to feel that uncomfortable, believe it or not, because you feel that way, you're in charge of your own feelings. It's your responsibility to feel that way. You're the ones that are to blame for the way you feel. It's incorrect. It's a defensive measure, and it's the only thing you know how to do. It's the only way you know how to protect yourself. I understand. There's an old saying: if you get rid of all the men, there won't be anybody left around. There won't be anybody left to protect you when you're facing danger. So right now, if I saw a woman in distress, I got to be honest with you. I'd be riding the fence on whether or not I should help and even get involved. So I kind of think I wouldn't, only because I don't know. I just don't want to get any more trouble than I'm already in. The way women treat me, they just kind of devalue themselves in my eyes. And I don't really care if anybody likes that or not. However, if women are watching the show and they react negatively to that, that's fine. Give me a bunch of dislikes and then leave a bunch of nasty comments. Okay, and I'll review every single comment I get and I'll respond. So we can go somewhere, we can talk face to face. You can air out all your grievances, and I can counter every single one of your grievances with an explanation that goes along with an experience. Okay, so I can meet you toe to toe on any argument you have to say about bad behavior on the part of men. So it's just like what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's just never ending. Anyway, I'm just tired of the way women treat me. Oh well, that's just kind of guess how it goes. So if you ladies, if you want to be alone, if you want to push every single man away, and act like a shithead in the process, that's fine. Okay, but don't him and haw and complain and cry and bitch on Saturday night when you don't have a date. I see a good-looking young woman to walk in my general direction or walk. So I got to be honest with you, I steer away from her. I'll avoid you like the plague because I just don't want to get in trouble. I don't need that type of trouble and turbulence in my life. I want peace. So you ladies have done so much damage to your reputation and the way you treat men that now men don't want to have anything to do with you. And that's just kind of how it goes. So, and the ball's in your court. It's your responsibility. You sow the wind. You reap ashes and sulfur. You reap ashes and dust. I don't know what else to tell you. You reap what you sow. Like I said, I'm not the best looking person in the world, but if you don't want to communicate with me and you want to treat me like I'm repugnant, you go right ahead. And even in my religious faith, which I won't disclose right now, because I don't want to say anything reflect negatively on that. Even in my religious faith, women treat me like that. You know what? So just so be it. So just learn to live. You guys, if you get the same treatment and experience that I do, 54 years old, there's no chance or prospect for romance on the horizon. I got to be honest with you, even if the opportunity presented itself, I'd go ahead and turn it down. I'm just too discouraged at this point. Kind of fed up and disgusted. But guys, if you're in the same boat that I'm in, just learn how to develop a life that does not involve women in any way, shape, or form. I know it's sad and it's lonely. It's kind of what things have come to at this point. But with women's behavior, I just it's monstrous, horrifically unpredictable, monstrous, non-diplomatic behavior. No return on investment. Ladies, I'm just going to tell you right now, you're not worth it anymore. You've actually become inhuman in the eyes of good men who were once willing to give you a chance. They were willing to give you their lives. They were willing to protect you with their lives. They're not anymore. You have devalued yourself because of your bad behavior. And if you think I'm wrong, if you want to react to that, leave a comment, leave a dislike. I don't care. If you want to talk to me about that, that's fine. At least you want to communicate. If you want to shoot insults my way, I got to tell you at this point in time, anything and everything is input that'll help me determine and understand exactly what the cause of this problem is. But in the meantime, ladies, you like I said, you reap what you sow. If you can't get a date, if you can't get guys to talk to you, if you can't pick up on guys, if guys aren't approaching you, they're not asking you on a date, they're not looking at you anymore, they don't want to talk to you, if they're avoiding you like the plague, that's why. The history of bad behavior on the part of women, it has everything in the world to do with it. If you can actually corner a guy and start asking what's wrong with me, why don't you look at me, or you not like women, and the guy decides to open up to you, he's going to let you have it. He's going to tell you the same thing I have. I can't be the only one. Anyway, this is Jason Wampler, another episode of An Axe to Grind. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And I've noticed I've got to shave the hair off my ear. My goodness. Oh, there it is. I'll get that with a shaving blade. Can't be the light actually catches that one stray hair on my right ear. Anyway, I guess I'll shoot another episode next Sunday. All right. Talk to you later. Bye bye.